When Craig Kielburger was 12, he read an article about Iqbal Masih, a free child laborer who was murdered for speaking out against it. Craig took a 7-week trip to Southeast Asia.
Gone to school? He does not know what a school is.
With a group of his grade 7 friends, Craig founded Free the Children.
You have the power in your words, in your actions, and in your policy making.
Today, Free the Children is the largest network of youth helping other youth around the world. They've built over 650 schools and provided clean water and healthcare to over 1 million people.
You were so impassioned, both of you, and now this has become your life's work.
Craig and his brother Mark have also started the Me Too We movement. We Day fills stadiums with thousands of youth across Canada and tracks some of the biggest celebrities and humanitarians of our time.
Never ever doubt that you can change the world.
It's very possible in our lifetime to end the worst forms of poverty in our world. Every World Bank study, every UN says our world has more than enough. It's a question of if we care enough.
Kielburger, thank you so much for being with us.
My pleasure, thank you.
Okay, so since this is a conference about sustainability, can you tell us a bit about the sustainable development practices that Free the Children incorporates into its organization?
We believe in sustainability in the full sense of the word. So of course environmental sustainability, but also sustainability as it relates to the project itself, so that when we exit, the community has a sense of ownership and the means, financial and in the skill sets, to sustain the ongoing operation. In short, the greatest gift you could ever give is to help someone never need charity again. So for
what's the most important lesson you've learned over the years working with Free the Children? You started at 12 at a very young age, and I'm sure seen a lot of things, good and bad. So what?
Maybe one of the most important lessons is that students can make a difference now, not to wait until, a lot of messages we hear, until you reach a good job, a position of influence, wealth, then you change things. Change things now. The world.
So right now we're in this time of financial instability, and what we're seeing is sort of a turning inwards. If you look at the United States, Ron Paul, who was gaining momentum recently, his foreign policy consists of cutting all forms of foreign aid. Across Europe, they're taking austerity measures, and I guess my question is, what is the argument to be made that it is still important to focus on development, to focus on reducing poverty, focus on HIV/AIDS and sustainability, when there's so much economic uncertainty?
I believe charity starts at home, and we have to take care of our needs here in Canada. But it doesn't end there. Well, even in a time of austerity that we live in, we live in a world where you still have 300,000 children fighting in wars. You still have 13 million AIDS orphans. You still have 218 million child laborers. And even in a time of austerity, as difficult as it is here in Canada, I believe we still have enough to take care of our own challenges and challenges externally. It's the moral responsibility as us as human beings. What's the economic argument? Well, there's many. As we create greater developments around the world, you won't see a race to the bottom when it comes to sweatshops and that type of production. When we see terrorism, each country where we saw Al-Qaeda operate, from parts of Pakistan to parts of East Africa, these are regions that have unstable governments. It's creating a more stable, peaceful world. But at the end of the day, international aid, it's not just about opening trade routes. It's not just about protecting ourselves from extremists. It's about being human beings who see a need at home and around the world, and our moral requirements of being a human being is we have to respond.
Okay, and final question. Which one of the Millennium Development Goals are you most hopeful that we will reach within our lifetime?
To answer your question directly, I'm hoping for universal primary education. That being said, I just kind of smile because we led a campaign years ago saying all rights. So there was a time where some governments were prioritizing one over another and saying we have enough to fund for primary education, but not to really close the gender gap. Every one of those are the most basic of the basic. It's looking at human needs and boiling it to the most essence of what it takes for life. And if we fail, and sadly it looks like we will, to fulfill all of those, humanity has to shake its head and ask some difficult questions. So we need more aid, we need better aid. We need sustainable aid. We don't need more of these commercials that run on Sunday afternoons with flies in the eyes of children and us giving out of guilt. We need to measure impact. We need to look at sustainability and exit strategies. People work hard for their money. They should demand accountability from nonprofits. And we need to recognize that change is possible, that all the Millennium Development Goals should be fulfilled. And if we have the concerted global effort, they will. That's idealistic, I know, but we need more idealism in this world.
Craig Kielburger, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm Craig Kielburger, and you're watching TV Miguel.